good afternoon, and welcome to this very special live session that we are having here at UNC TV. My name is Mwikali Jacqueline, and today I have the absolute honor of sitting down with three of the top leaders of the University of Nairobi Leadership Council. I'll be speaking to the President, the Vice President, and the Sports and Welfare Representative. These are the people that were sworn in office on the 25th of April 2025. They are the individuals who have been entrusted to steer the university forward and also to represent the students and to make sure that their voices are heard. Karibuni sana. You have to introduce yourselves from my left. Yes.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name is Derek Troy Rusana. I'm the president of the University of Nairobi Students Association from the Faculty of Engineering.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Birite Motua from the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, and I will be serving as a vice chairperson Unsa 2025-2026.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eric Moturi. I'm the Sports and Welfare Representative, the Unsa Council. I'm from the Faculty of Law.
All right, we invite you to stay tuned, and remember you can engage with us on our live on YouTube, and also you can send us your questions and the things that you'd like us to discuss across all of our social media platforms is at UNC TV. First of all, congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'd like us to begin. We had a very unfortunate incident that happened here at the University of Nairobi where we lost one of our students here in the university who drowned in the swimming pool. And I'd like, what do you have to say about that, Mr. President?
Okay. First of all, what happened was a very unfortunate incident. And as a Students' Council and UNSA as an organization, we send our deepest condolences to the family and the friends. And the incident that took place has not been a one-time incident. Mental health and mental issues have been quite a hot topic, especially during the past 4 years. Since 2020, we've had a number of students who, for one reason or another, we've lost them, and due to mental issues. It's an unfortunate incident, and it is something that we should not allow, even as fellow students and friends. I normally say that it is usually the responsibility of a friend first, before anything else, before we get to organization, before we get to the wellness center, before we get to all those things and all those platforms. It is usually the first closest friend who is usually the first contact person of any single human being anywhere in the world. And one way to tackle mental health is to be a good friend first of all. Even the Bible talks about love. The best way we can start by tackling mental health before we even get to the association in itself is by finding a way to encompass love and encompass checking up on one another, because that is the only way. I feel that is the only way. And what we as a team also are looking to do this year, we have a couple of programs that my colleagues were going to speak about, and we are looking to tackle it. But before we even get there, you as a friend, me as Troy, myself, I have to check up and ask, is Purity okay? Is Muturi okay? Is Julie okay? Are all my team members okay? How are you doing? Check up on your friends, because that is where it starts. That is the first step. Yes.
And would you like to add something, Mr. Muturi?
Yes, I would like to note that, first of all, my sincere condolences. You'll realize that there are avenues in the university, such as the Wellness Center, which cater for matters of mental health and psychosocial support. But the major issue is that you'll also find that in all faculties there is the office of, there are peer counselors, trained peer counselors, and there is the office of the assistant dean, which majorly focuses on counseling and peer mentorship. But most of the students in our university are not aware of this. If you go to the university website, you'll find a list of contacts of all peer counselors, or rather of all people you can reach to. But this has not been mainstreamed, and students don't know this. So we'll try to find a way to make this the peer counseling accessible to our students, and make sure such incidences don't occur in this great institution.
Right. Now, in your days in our office. Of course, every leadership comes with their agendas and their priorities. What are some of the issues that you think need urgent attention when it comes to student welfare, everything all around academics, and just general student welfare, purity?
Yes, I'll touch on my docket as in academics. I believe there's a lot of issues in the academic space that have been untouched. We use them in the manifesto, but not really get into the nexus point of it. And so part of it is, one, whether there's goodwill. Part of what sorting out these issues is understanding, one, that we have a very diverse curricula across the board. What is going to be issues in main campus are not the same in Kenya Science or in Kikuyu campus. And so one is understanding the landscape. Two is also now having a very robust network as vice chairs, because we are supposed to work as the team pushing forward for academics. We have some very basic issues that we need to streamline, and I mentioned it in the debate, and that one of them being is missing marks. I think we will do a review, faculty-based review, where we're able to understand the problems and push those numbers to zero, because I believe we have an opportunity to actually adjust the system to favor the students rather than shy away from dealing with them head on. And so there are other issues in terms of academics, and moving forward, we are declaring that as a team we're very proactive. We're getting into the headway of dealing with some of these things head on.
Yeah, of course. But also the question is, of course, there's what the council promised the students, but also how do you make sure they transition from just being ideas and being real on ground?
One, we had already said that we've already started having very honest conversations with the students, because one thing that we do not want to make, one mistake we do not want to make is going and solving issues and we've not consulted the students first. We had our first Camp Kunji yesterday with students in main campus, and we plan to move it forward and discuss those issues and understand the landscape. Secondly, there's vice chairs in every faculty, and so our work is to make sure that we have now a working committee where we are sorting out issues in terms of academics, faculty-based. And so we have appointment per faculty who will be relaying this information, and then we'll have a step-by-step process to have to weed out some of these issues as faculty is progressing.
Okay. And Mr. President, before your council came in, we had a previous University of Nairobi Leadership Council, and they had their own agendas and their manifestos and everything. Looking at the previous Leadership Council, what are some of the things that you believe would you like rather that tell you or like give students hope that your council is going to be different from the previous council?
Okay.
Yes.
One thing I'd like to really note is that usually any functional organization, even starting from the basics of a family, is usually when the head unites the family. One thing I want to prioritize with what we want to do is that I want to unite the people that we've been elected with. I want to unite all Congress members. I want to unite all council members, so that number one, we know from the beginning that we are starting to work as a team, and that is how we are moving. We are moving as a team. We might disagree at some point, but there are avenues to solve that agreement, because Unsa is a very short time. It's 1 year and you're done. If you get spaces for misunderstandings and you do not solve them, you do not get to achieve much of what you had promised the students. And then again, now it's not the time for promises. And I've told even my members that you are done being a politician as of this time, because you are now stepping into the leadership and the responsibility part of it. And it is a heavy responsibility. It is not something to take lightly. In fact, it is the toughest part of this job. So whatever you had promised, because when you're making your manifesto, even within the faculty, it was different. When I was subscribing to my vision, or when I was presenting my vision to the students, it was also something that was unique and different. Number one, we have to be united more than the previous council members were. Number two, we have to be a government that is very sincere to themselves. Most governments in Unsa fail because they're not sincere to themselves. You find that in a case where you do get in, they don't get in with the right intention. So you get in with over ambitious intentions, or you do get in when you want to do things the same way a previous government used to do things. Okay, you get in and the pressure gets to you and you forget that there are things specifically that you promised that you'd changed within what there are things that you said you'd prioritize. You as a team, you people would prioritize it. Okay, you said that you'd talk about bringing partners to faculties. We say that we are going to help increase bursary allocation. We say we are going to work on mental health issues. We are going to work on research and innovation. But now this is where now the rubber meets the road. It is now time for us to sit down together and how are we going to work on our manifesto as a team. So in my government, there is no council and there is no Congress.
Okay.
We are all leaders and we are going to work together.
Okay.
That is the biggest thing that is going to set us aside. And you also bring in something that has not been done before, which again reinstates unity is going to be very important this time round. Yes.
Is there something that you feel that the previous government did well and you would like to build upon, Mr. Muturi?
I think the previous government laid a good, especially in Medoke, the Sports and Welfare Department, would say it laid a framework. But we'd like to improve the framework. You will find, especially things to do with sports, they're only left out to a specific day per semester. And after that, students go back until the next semester. And how we are different from that and how we seek to improve that is we want to build a sporting culture in the university. Rather than having a one-day event, we have a whole semester event. We have a tournament system for, let's say, the ball games, which runs for the whole semester, which means all students are engaged. This is workable, number one, because as Rais has mentioned, if we are able to channel the partnerships, we'll be able to sustain these events. This will be possible. And that's how we're different, and that's how we believe we're learning from them, but improving what we found in place.
Okay. Are there any shortcomings that you think the previous Unsa had that you feel like you want to change a little or build upon, Mr. Purity?
I've had the privilege of serving in the previous Congress as SG in my faculty. And I believe one of the challenges we had too many sideshows. And what had happened was it created an effect where it seemed that we were divided and that there was a bit of confusion in terms of direction. But now moving forward, as I reiterate what the President has said, is one thing we have tried and we're going to do is galvanize the Congress. That when we say that we're going one way, we go as a university. Because one thing that we want to build for the university is trust in leadership. And it has been watered down by some of the mistakes we've made along the way. But what I want to encourage the constituents is that we want to bring that hope back. That you can trust us to lead, because we're leading from your word, from your trust, from your own direction as constituents, to give us a direction as leaders. Yeah.
And as the team that was elected and sworn in office, how do you plan to keep yourselves accountable to the promises that you have made to the students? I'll start with you.
I'll speak on that. We are a team that, number one, I said some time back that I am not a president for the delegates who elected me. I'm not a president for the Congress members. I am your president, and I'm here for you. And that means that all issues that involve students, I will always be there for you. And even in that line, what we had even started recently, the Kamkunji, where we come back so that we speak to you, okay? And it will be something that will be happening frequently so that we keep ourselves accountable, okay? You can't keep yourself accountable when you don't make appearances back to the people who gave you the mantle to lead them. So we'll be having Kamkunjis whereby if we started with main campus in the course of this weekend, in the next 2 weeks, we are going to go to Upper Kabete and say that, okay, the far that you have gotten, this and this is what we have done, and this is what we are working on. What do you think we should do about this and this? Or what do you think we should do better? Where we are right now, what do you think we should do better? We are going to come back to you, and we are going to keep on listening to you. We don't promise all the time will be perfect. That is why we are coming back to you, so that you who gave us the mandate and you who are the biggest stakeholders, both for the university and for the association, you get to tell us what can we do better for you, how can we work on things better for you, and we'll take your considerations and your decisions and turn them into actions, so that when we do something, we do it from the aspect of we have been blessed by the whole student fraternity, and it was an opinion voiced by you yourself, it was an opinion voiced by your friend, and it got to us, and we have gotten a chance to implement it. So we will do this faculty by faculty. We are not going to discriminate. If it is Kisumu, we are going to get to Kisumu. If it's Mombasa, we are going to get to Mombasa. If we did this when we were campaigning, we are also going to do this now when we're in office. Consultations must happen to keep ourselves accountable. Then another form of accountability that we want to introduce, we want to re-galvanize the whole Unsa website, so that even if we can't get to you where you are, you can also follow up on what we are doing, so that it will be updated almost every time when you do something. There's an update on it, so that you just log on to it and you can get to see this time and this time Unsa is doing this and this, and right now Unsa is working on this and this. Then somewhere there's a feedback, there's a chat box somewhere also where you're free to also voice your opinions, so that we ensure all students are involved, all the way from PhD to undergrad to certificate, everywhere all students are involved. We are here for you, and we are here to serve you as a team.
You have just answered my next question, which was feedback channels for the students. But Mr. Muturi, can you share with the students what are some of the plans for your docket as the sports and welfare representative of this leadership council?
Okay, thank you very much. I think my number one plan is revamping our sporting facilities. We've seen some great job happening the other side, near the graduation square, where some of the sporting facilities are being improved. But I think there is more improvement that needs to be done. Simple improvements like nets, things to do with balls, equipment, kits. And besides the improvement, we also seek to engage the students by having sports training, where with collaborations with these professional sports bodies such as FKF and the Basketball Association of Kenya, we can have our students trained as coaches and as referees for these games. So you have an holistic improvement of the student as a player, also as they progress to maybe a professional playing in their area of sports. So those two are the major points of action. And yeah.
Okay. Ms. Purity, as the Vice President of this Leadership Council, what support, because it is your role to support the President in his vision for the university and his agenda for the entire welfare of the students and also the entire university. What is how do you plan to support him in his leadership position during his leadership period?
Okay, thank you for that question. So, given the roles that we have undertaken, one of the things is to deputize him. And so one of the ways is, one, allowing him to lead. One of the challenges we have in the congresses once we enter in the council, or different teams whatsoever, is that there's internal wrangles. And that happens with the mistrust and distrust. And so I think the most fundamental thing is trusting him to lead. And second of all, he does not operate as a one-man show. As you've realized, he has very brilliant people in his team, right from the vice chair all the way to the PWD representative. And so one of the ways is there are some roles that he's already abdicated. Looking for partners is not an easy task, and it's not something that he'll be able to do by himself. And so, but as his co-team member, is taking on that role, because I believe that is one of the core mandates that we have, or fundamental tasks that we want to undertake, because it needs robust resource mobilization to be able to accomplish the things that we want to do. Secondly, I bring in expertise. I have had the privilege of serving in the previous Congress, and so it is to advise him, given my previous experience in the previous Congress, and how to handle it now moving forward. I believe those are the two major ways that I will be there to support him, among others.
Mr. President, sometimes you will have to make tough decisions for the students and also the university. And how will you make sure you balance between the interest of the students and also the interest of the administration of the entire University of Nairobi?
That is always the question, because once you're a student leader, somebody says that if you want to please everybody, you should sell ice cream, not become a student leader.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do realize it's a very tough balance, because number one, there are systems that are in place, and normally people in administration feel that those systems are enough.
Yeah.
In fact, you people are asking for too much. Number two, students will always feel like you're doing less. You're always doing less, and they expect more from you. There's always a huge expectation. So we have to find a way to balance both. And even what we had said even during the debate and part of when we were campaigning is that, number one, we are elected by the students and we stand for the students. That is something that we don't waver upon. Number two, we also recognize that the administration plays a key role in everything that we do. In fact, they are also shareholders in the university, even though it's a small percentage, but the administration is also part of what makes up the university. So we are a team that is, number one, not going to be rigid. Okay? We are not going to be rigid and be stuck up on tough decisions. Okay? We might make a tough decision, but we are still open to listening to both sides. Okay? But always, all the time, the students' voices will be our priority, because even if you look at the banner right here next to you, it's liberty and student welfare alongside academic excellence. So we will always listen to the students first. Okay? So whatever we get from the students, we'll take it forward to the administration. Okay?
Yes.
Then whatever they tell us, again, we'll take it back to the students again. So the final decision will be more leaned towards the students, but we'll always try as much as possible. If the systems in place are there and they can work for us and we can make them and tune them well, we'll always take that route. But if it does not, we'll always listen to the students and we'll always stand with them.
Okay.
Yes.
In light of listening to the students and their concerns, Mr. Muturi, you are the welfare representative of the students. What do you think is the most problem or the key issue that is affecting most students? We have different problems that are affecting students, mental health being one of the many other things. What do you feel is the key issue that is affecting most students today?
Thank you. I think the biggest issue with students in our university is accommodation. And you'll realize that accommodation covers a lot of things. It covers sanitation, it covers security of students, it covers a lot of things. Sanity, water. And I think the collaboration is important because if you liaise with the relevant offices, such as the deans of students, if you are open to negotiations, if you are diplomatic, you will definitely find solutions. The issue of the issue of the accommodation fee being high has been a pertinent issue. And I think approaching the right people, approaching the right offices, and being ready for collaboration and being ready for talks will be a really important aspect to finally deal with this accommodation issue.
Okay. Ms. Purity, would you like to add something?
Kindly repeat the question.
The question was, students have a lot of issues that are affecting them currently. What do you think is the main issue that is an issue to students and their welfare?
Yes. I'd say, to put one word, I'd say, not one word, a statement is mental health. Though that is fed into with a lot of other, it's a pregnant issue. Okay. Mental health is something that has really ailed the university, some faculties more than others. And I remember way back also. Well, the first time I encountered a student suicide was in my faculty. That was in December 2023. And that was someone who I knew because we used to play Scrabble with together. Painful as it was, there was not much intervention that was done. And thankfully, we've not had another suicide until then as a faculty. But I believe that is a dragon that needs to be cut through. One of the things, mental health, he has mentioned the peer counselors, making it more robust. They're there, but we need to have, equip them more, and then also creating awareness of their presence. And I think there's not much I will repeat from what he said. Another thing is looking into their welfare. There's a lot of issues, accommodation, academic. So what we want to do is to create a holistic environment for the students, improving it to a point where we do not have students, like one of them hanged themselves over school fees. So there's a lot of pertinent issues that we need to deal with, but also creating that environment where people can speak up is very important. Okay. And I also believe one of the ways we're trying to get to that is creating also a unified university. I believe he mentioned it in terms of making each other friends and being friends and brothers keepers to each other. But we need to now have a culture where it's comrade for comrade, no one left behind. Yeah.
Mr. President, what is one thing or what legacy would you like your leadership council to be remembered for?
That is interesting because the whole point why we took up this role and campaigned very hard for it, worked really hard to get it, was because we wanted to be remembered by something. We wanted to step out and somebody speaks about us differently, both us and even people within the faculties. The legacy that I'd like to be remembered by is starting a culture in Unsa. Starting a culture that somebody will stand somewhere 10 years to come and say, we're here because Troy started this back in 2025, or Troy started this back in 2026, or this was continued because he started this. Because I'm bringing in a very new culture in Unsa. That is, number one, it's going to put our university at the peak. And I'm going to promise the students this, that the journey to starting a new culture is not often easy. At times there are decisions that we will make that will make you feel like we've left you out. But trust us in the process, the same way you trusted us with the leadership, because we want to build things, and there has to be building blocks. I do engineering, and whenever we are doing something, there has to be a building block. Whenever you want to write a program, whenever you want to make something work, you have to write a program for it. Whenever you want to build a house, there has to be pillars, there has to be cement, there has to be concrete, there has to be foundation for it. The same way, we want to lay foundation for a very different students' association. We want our association to be mentioned in boardrooms in France. We want our associations to be mentioned in the UK. We want our association to be mentioned in Pretoria, South Africa. We want our association to be an association that people look at it and they want to emulate what we are doing. What is it we want to do differently? We want to start a very different culture. We want to, number one, we want to bring something in that is going to be extra than what we've been getting from the school. Because I believe with over 40,000 plus students, we can bring in so much more even than the university has to offer. And once we've brought in what is extra, we want to also leave it there, okay? So that when now the next person after me comes in, let's say he found 2 or 3 partners, he adds on to it, and now it's 5 partners for the Student Association, such that in 10 years to come, we have an association that boasts over 35,000 partners. When you have 35 plus partners, when you have those kind of partners, then you can get channels to say that now we can now find a way to tackle this fee issue. We can find a way to ensure that every student who is going hungry in this university has a way out. We can find a way to solve a lot of issues, because there is no way we can say everybody comes in differently and everybody starts afresh. But what about somebody coming in and finding that they are foundational and they are strong building blocks to start upon? Okay. That is the kind of legacy we want to leave. Yes.
Right. Mr. Muturi, you're now in office. Are there any challenges that you have found within the space, and how would you say you are approaching them or addressing them?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Challenges, we've been in office for less than a week. So all is well. Just adapting. No challenges at all right now. We are, I think, and if there are challenges approaching even one of my team members, are the challenges, so the problem is solved. So so far, no problem.
Okay, that is very good to hear. Now, your leadership style, of course, is going to be different from anything that we have seen before, and it is the hope of students that things are going to be different from the previous Unsa Council. And I was like going to ask what you're going to do differently. Then I remembered you just answered the question. But I also want you to take us through your leadership style from your team and everybody who has their roles. How do you make sure that the team is working together and there's no internal conflict that the students can see through? Because sometimes when there's conflict within a team, just that the public can see through it, but I don't think a lot of leaders see that. So how do you make sure that the team is together and everything is working out for the students and their entire well-being? Ms. Purity, I'll start with you.
Well, by the beauty and virtue of being the vice chairperson, I was also the second person in the team to join the team Troy. And there tends to be a core feeling that I am mama team. And so one of the selection criteria we've had as a team was we had vision bearers.
Okay.
There was no one who was there to just fill up a spot in the team. And so one thing I can tell you is from the word go, we already have very level-headed people.
Okay.
And so it's very easy to solve conflicts given that they're open to conflict resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly is we have built this team out of trust. And there's no one point in time where any team member doubts the other because we've built a relationship on the word go. Doing campaigns together is really hard. Tensions are high, pressures are high. And there's no one point where we lie to each other where we're just going to tolerate it until we enter office. No, we were very real from the word go.
Okay.
And also I'd like to credit to the chair. The chair has created an environment where we can be ourselves. We can air our views without fear of being turned down or put down. And so moving forward, we already also have people who are accountable to us, who we give our accountability to as well. So they keep us in check constantly, whether it is me, the president, because sometimes you can enter office and you lose focus because sometimes the weight of the crown comes with its pressures and its demands. And we're also flawed beings. But we are dedicated to make this regime work. I have served before in Congress. I have seen teams that have been broken, have not been able to accomplish much as a regime. And one thing I had told Troy and we've told the team is that if we really want to come out of here with our heads held high, we'll also have to learn to love each other and to work with each other and collaborate to make the best team in this regime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Muturi, everybody is going to answer this question, but starting with you, how best do you feel that the university community in its entirety can help you or rather support you enough to make sure that this team is steering the university forward without any side issues?
Thank you. I think I'll address that through my docket because we need the entire university community, especially in the partnership aspect. The university has a huge basket of alumni. And if these alumni are open, first of all, we have to approach them, which we will. But if they open their arms and receive us and are open to give us the partnerships to push our plans, it will be a really great help. Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Purity?
I believe given that we're also going down to the grassroots and meeting people, we want to build this movement from the ground up. And so the support one, and it's something we had a discussion with them, with some of the students in main campus yesterday, is that let's do it differently. And I know sometimes we're starting from negatives in terms of trust of students, but showing up for them, they show up for us as well.
Okay.
I promise you I have made friends from the different campuses who I have never known before. But because I showed up and they saw me somewhere and they had me speak, and they saw me engaging with them. We now slowly build that trust. And that is actually the most fundamental support, the in-house support.
Okay.
So that when we say jump, or when we say we're going this direction as a university, we are all full force.
Okay.
No comrade behind.
Just a follow-up question. You said you are studying from a negative when it comes to students' trust. Why do you feel that is so? Why do you feel a lot of students have lost rather their trust in the leadership that they have been getting over the years?
Yes, I believe one, we've probably picked up a culture where we've said a lot and done little. And so one of the things here is our necks and reputations are on the line. And we have no intention of backing down from the words that we've given out to the comrades. And that is actually the main challenge. You know, broken promises are one of the most painful things. And so what I can say is we will do our very best to keep those promises and actually prove to people that leadership isn't all about building it from a web of lies and manipulation. No. We need to create a place where we help each other and we move together to actually go into the canon, the proverbial canon that we envision to be. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. President, how best can the university support your team to make sure that you deliver for this university?
One thing that I think would be very critical for the university to do is, number one, you have to listen to us.
Okay.
That is number one. You have to listen to us. When we get to a table whereby we want to air out our issues and we want to tell you something that is very critical, let them all leave what they know as seniority out of the room. Okay? Because for us to get to that table, we have issues that are very dear to our hearts and issues that affect over 40,000 students. So seniority should not be prioritized when they're making decisions. Okay. It should be from a point of, let us do this and this because it is the right thing to do. So number one, they have to see us as people who have ideas. They have also to see us as people who are there, and we are there representing the students, and they have to listen to us. I think listening is the biggest aspect. If they listen to us, then we are going to develop a very holistic communication channel whereby information moves freely, whereby all my students are free to speak through me or through their leaders, and even everything that we build, and when we decide to consult with them, they support us fully. And even in terms of partners, like Muturi said, we are going to get to do something different. And in doing something different, not all human beings are open to change. But change at times is inevitable, especially when the current systems don't work. It is time to approach things differently. That is why anywhere in the developing country, even when agriculture was starting back in the late 18th, when people in Egypt used to use, there's a certain form of irrigation that they used to use that used to involve a lot of wood and a lot of sweat. But when change came and when people started changing all over the world in terms of how they approached agriculture, Egypt also changed, and that is what has made Egypt to grow to this point. This association needs a change, and it needs a big change. And for that change to work, we need students to be united. We need leaders within the council and Congress to be united, and we need the administration to listen to us. Change will come, but it will come when all of us support it.
Okay.
Yes.
In your manifesto, Mr. President, you responded to the question of the first 100 days in office. Now comes the big question. What are some of the changes, rather, so to say, that students can expect from your leadership council in the first 100 days in office? I know you're less than a week in the office, but these are some of the things that you said in your manifesto. So what are some of the things that students can expect from you?
Okay.
Yeah.
In the 100 days, realistically, if you are working with a normal calendar, we are already 22 days off it because the court issues dragged the process.
Okay.
That is why we are here at a late time. But you do get to realize that even in these 100 days, we are counting the weekends. That is how serious of a government we want to be this time around. And even starting off, we were sworn in on Friday. On Saturday, we already started meetings and the consultations. On Sunday, we go with the students in main campus for again another consultative meeting.
Okay.
And I've made my Congress members aware and my fellow council members aware that we are short on time. That is number one. Number two, we have promises to keep, and we have our end of the bargains to keep also.
Okay.
So we need to work fast and we need to work for the students.
Mm.
We said in our first 100 days, we are going to prioritize what made us and what made the vision of the team. That is, we wanted to bring something extra, both at faculty and council level.
Okay.
So I want to report to the students that that is already ongoing, and we've started that process. And you'll see it in the next few days. We'll call on new people to come and join us and come and help us with a few of those things.
Mm.
Number two, we are also looking to even work overtime. Even when you guys will be at home, we'll still be working on your behalf, so that when you get back to school, and even when the new students come in back to school, they find a government that is organized, a government that has planned some things that are very special. Some of us are even sacrificing internship opportunities during this time. We are sacrificing, those who are doing education are sacrificing teaching practice opportunities. Those who are doing engineering are sacrificing engineering internships. And all of us, we are doing a lot of sacrifice, because I've made everybody aware that for us to achieve what we would call the fresh perspective, there needs to be things that have to be done differently, and we'll have to sacrifice. If you want this to work, it has to start from the student leaders. We are doing this, and we are doing it for a bigger goal. We are doing it for something that is going to last even for the students who will come after us. So in our first 100 days, I'd like to report that we are going to prioritize what we said, and we've already started working on it.
Okay. You've mentioned the court issue, and I hope this is something that you are willing to talk about. I'll speak to you, Ms. Purity. What would you like to tell students about the court issue that delayed the voting process? Some students might not be aware of. Could you explain to them what the issue was, and what do you have to say about it?
Yes. So, as an aspirant before, there was, I'd say, given that we had a new chair for the commission, Mr. Ombongi, there was, I think the process was very cutthroat, I'd say that. And a lot of the things that were in the constitution were followed to the letter. And so what had happened was there were parties that were not happy with some of the decisions were made. There were certain petitions that were filed by a number of candidates. And so what had happened was one of the petitions now suspended the elections. And so throughout, we've just been having proceedings, waiting for the court verdict, which happened on Tuesday, I believe, last week.
Okay.
That allowed us now to have the elections. And so I'd say it has been a very long process and a very new experience to begin with. That was something that we've not experienced before. But I also like to thank the aspirants for their resilience, as well as also the aspirants who didn't make it, that we are a government that wants to embrace everyone. And so the ideas, the visions, we want to incorporate them in making that a wholesome experience and a regime that caters for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still on you spoke about calling for kamukunjis, where students can come and voice their issues and the issues and stuff like that. Is this something that the leadership, rather the council, the whole council, is going to do regularly, or how regular is it going to be, and how often is the kamukunjis being called, and yes, what are some of the issues that are discussed in the town halls?
Yes, I will weigh in on that. So the kamukunjis are going to be very regular. As for the regularity, I am not certain. We have yet to deliberate on. But it is going to be something that is very frequent. We've entered office on Friday, and already Sunday we've met the guys in main campus, the students in main campus. And so we want to do it faculty-based, because the issues are different per faculty. And we are going to incorporate the different stakeholders some of the challenges that council has is sometimes we operate like a high-handed hand and not getting down to the Congress level and understanding the issues. As for the regularity, that will be something that will be open air to everyone, but it is definitely and is going to happen across the board for sure. Yeah.
Right. Mr. President, after these town halls have happened and students have given you the issues and whatever they want to be worked on or improved, do you go back with feedback, or how do students get to know that you have really listened to the issues and initiative is being taken or something is being done about it?
The most common adage is usually that actions speak louder than words.
Okay.
And any good work is normally seen. Only a fool fails to recognize good work. So we promise you that once we listen to you, and we also take your deliberations and decisions into action, you will see it for yourself. And in case you don't see it for yourself, you'll feel it for yourself.
Okay.
Because you'll be an active participant. Okay? If you tell me you'd want this and this done, I'm going to involve you and the members of your faculty so that you get to be the first person who feels it and the first person who helps me work on it. You're the one who voiced the opinion, so you are the one who knows how best it can be handled. So come on board so that now you are the forefront of working together with us so that we deliver this to our friends and our fellow comrades. That is how we are going to see it, and that is how it's going to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Muturi, how do you think the students can, or what role, play a role in supporting you in to represent them and their issues and their welfare? How do you think, how best can the students support you to make sure that you represent their issues in the way that they want their issues to be represented?
Thank you very much. The students play a very important role in the aspect of student welfare because it's their welfare. So I'd imagine a situation, or rather imagine a forum where the students are open to publicly participate in the meetings, we call them. They are open to give the feedback. They are open to criticize us. They are open to fact check and keep us in check. It will really be important, and it will really help us stay online and deliver our set goals.
Okay. When we say student welfare, we're just saying student welfare. What really does it mean to represent the issues or the welfare of the students? Can you explain what representing the welfare of the students looks like to the students?
Okay. You have to realize that university should be a place where students grow in body, in mind, and in character, and also academically. Okay. The academic steals the show most of the times because it's a higher learning institution.
Okay.
But aspects to do with body, your physical health, mind, your psychosocial health are mostly and most times set aside. So, and the student welfare aspect caters for this. Okay. A student coming from a clean hostel, a student coming from a secure hostel, a student whose mental health is catered for, who has access to the mentorship, the peer counseling facilities, is a student who's nurtured their body, their mind, and their character. Okay. So that's what the student welfare entails.
Have you interacted with many or some of the students since your day in office?
Yes.
What are some of the issues that they have raised to you, or even from your observation, what are some of the issues that you have seen or students have raised to you and you would like to address them?
The two main issues students have been addressing, there is one urgent issue right now that is disturbing the students, the issue of buses. You'll find a faculty like law school. Today there was no bus at all servicing the school. This is a simple issue that can be addressed if we approach the right people. Okay. So these small issues that help the student achieve the academic goals are what we seek to solve. Yeah.
Right. What is your message to the students of the University of Nairobi today, Mr. Muturi?
My message to the comrades, first of all, it's a thank you note. Thank you for believing in us. And as you've played your end of the bargain, we promise to play ours. I personally believe in service to God is service to mankind is service to God.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big proponent of servant leadership. So as long as I'm serving you and as long as you're fact-checking me and correcting me, I think we can have a great year. We can be remembered, and we can start a culture, as Rice said, that will last for ages. Thank you.
All right, Miss Purity.
One is to, as Muturi has said, is to thank people deeply. The support we have seen along the journey has been tremendous.
Okay.
And one of the things I'd like to say is we're working towards making sure that that support does not go in vain. And so also is to remind the comrades that they are esteemed and that we are coming from a great university, the University of Nairobi. There's people in this room behind the cameras doing the sound, and they are coming from different faculties. We are from doing journalism, but there are many more unseen and heard.
Mm-hmm.
Ours is to represent you. Ours is to amplify your voices and to make you realize that you are recognized, you are valued, and you are seen.
Okay.
And finally, is to ask for your support. Leading a multitude of people is quite nerve-wracking sometimes. And so ours is to extend our hand as they extend theirs. That even as we continue this regime, even for their prayers, the support, the encouragement, the words of advice, and giving us the grace to lead. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. President?
Thank you so much. They have spoken about it so well that it seems there is barely something to add, but again, like my team members have reiterated, we'd want to thank the whole student fraternity. Number one is trusting in us and giving us the mantle of leadership. Number two, I want to assure you that the team that I have before you is the most competent team the University of Nairobi will ever have. And it is a team that is willing to go all the way for you. We are here for you, we are willing to sacrifice for you, and we are willing to go all the way to ensure that your needs are catered for, to ensure that you people are safe, to ensure that you people get value for your money, to ensure that you people also protect yourselves. We are here as a students' council, we are here as a team, we are here as the whole Unsa leaders, and we are here to serve you. We are here for you, and we are here to ensure that your interests are our number one priority. Everything that you have in mind, your opportunities are our number one opportunities, and even the work that you do as students to ensure that we as association amplify them. Let everybody know that in the Faculty of Agriculture, there are students who are brilliant business people. Let everyone know that in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, there are students who can make very good diplomats. Let everybody know that in the Faculty of Engineering, there are good innovators. In the Faculty of Science and Technology, we can have the best researchers. In the Faculty of Health Sciences, we can have doctors and who are even better at research. That is our role as an association. We are here for you, and keep calm, because the leadership and the team that you have before you is a team that is going to work overtime for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are also aware that there are other members of the team that represent different dockets.
Yeah.
What are some of the dockets? I really want to say departments, but what are some of the dockets that you have for the other members of the team?
Our international rep could not make it here today. Her name is Sarah Tabahola. She's an international student from the Democratic Republic of Congo. And one of the challenges that Sarah faced when she was getting into this institution is that she had no one to guide her. She was at a place whereby she had to find the routes herself. In fact, at that time, we usually pray that if I even get to locate one international student, then I'm at a safe place.
Okay.
Because the locals also never did them favors. At times you find very scrupulous people who tend to even overcharge you even for your daily stay. At times you don't even know where to buy the cheap clothes. You usually go to high-end shops. You don't know even where there's something called thrift, where it is. There's something called Gikomba. You find yourself somewhere in Westlands in a very expensive store,
Okay.
and you pay very expensive for clothes. So I'm aware we are a diverse institution, and what our international rep is looking to achieve is what we had even mentioned earlier in our debate, the whole Tembea na Mgeni, whereby whether it's a local or it's an international student who has accustomed or familiarized themselves with the whole culture and the country itself, let them have somebody who can walk with them when they're admitted into the university, so that they feel comfortable and they get to fit in very seamlessly. And these are people who are we also willing to compensate in one way or another as a council, because we understand how important it is when somebody feels safe, when somebody feels like they're part of a culture, part of an institution. We have very, very, very interesting cultures, and even the international students that are in these universities always amaze me. Some of them have even gotten part of the culture that they talk like some of us. You find that they have lived with some of us, and they talk like some of us, negotiate like that. You'd not tell. In fact, at first instance, you'd classify them as one of the 42 tribes in the country, but they're international students. That is the kind of culture we want international students to have. We want them to come, and we want them to acclimatize with the culture. We want them to fit in seamlessly. We want them to be mentally okay, because once we make them comfortable, they'll give us their best. Because I know this institution only takes the best. So they're the best from their countries. So once they give us their best, it also glorifies the institution as a whole and glorifies us as a country. I also have my PWD rep right in this room. And is somebody also who has been very keen on student matters and very keen to represent people with disabilities. In fact, in his own capacity, he has already started sourcing for materials, the learning materials, because they are not accessible to people with disabilities. In his own capacity, he's also looking at revamping or ensuring that there are ramps for people who are able differently, so that they can access various corners of this institution very easily. That also includes even means of transport. Can there be a specific means of transport, especially during the rainy season, whereby people with disabilities can get the chance to move freely? Because imagine for you when it rains, the way you're usually mad and sad about it. And now imagine how it is for somebody living with a disability. They usually struggle a lot. But our main goal as a council and as a team is to ensure everybody's included and everybody stands in well as one. We are together, we are united, we are not politicians, we are not here and you are here. We are all at the same level. The only difference is that today I'm wearing a coat, but if we are in the same coat, we are just at the same level. And the only difference is that you've trusted me with the ability to lead you. Okay. My SG is also not here. And my treasurer is also right in this room. I'll start with my treasurer. There's a lot of things with accountability that goes on in this school. And we are going to try something new. Not try, we're going to do something new. And in the process of doing something new, there are going to be resources involved. Julie is here, and Julie is somebody who's willing to ensure that matters of finance and matters of accountability are well taken care of. You can trust her with that. My SG, Wasike, is also not here. He is the spokesperson for the association. Most memos you'll see will be titled Wasike Elisha. He is the spokesperson, and he has been already up and down. In fact, even with the incident that happened over the weekend, he was already up and down fighting for everybody. So we are a team, and even those who are not represented here all have something that they'd want to achieve at the end of their tenure.
Okay, very well. Now, as we come to the end of the conversation, in one sentence, Mr. Muturi, as we move this way, your final remarks to the students, from the council to the students, in one sentence, please.
One sentence.
Okay.
Wow. Dear University of Nairobi fraternity, student fraternity, we urge you and invite you to help us create this culture, help us create a friendly University of Nairobi. Thank you.
Miss Purity?
Yes, thank you very much for having us. Mine is a clarion call. This is a time for all hands on deck. And so I'm calling upon the student leaders who are serving with us in the Congress, the comrades, the alumni fraternity, and the good friends of the University of Nairobi, that this is our time to pick up the pieces as a university and make UN great again.
Okay, one sentence, Mr. President.
Mine is very short. The same way it's usually long live the spirit of UN. In terms of spirit and in terms of long living that spirit, we have a new spirit and a spirit that we'd want you to support.
Okay.
So long live the spirit of UN, and may God bless the good comrades of this university. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, lady and gentlemen, for gracing this discussion. Thank you so much for watching this discussion. This is UNC TV. My name is Mwikali Jacqueline. We were having a discussion with the leaders of the University of Nairobi Leadership Council. I hope you have enjoyed the debate, and this is all from us now, and see you next time.
The University of Nairobi, a world-class university committed to scholarly excellence, is a premier institution of higher education in Kenya and the region. We offer solutions to the pressing global challenges through multidisciplinary research.
I am passionate about animals. I like taking care of animals. So from the university, I am able to take care of animals more and more by the lessons that we have in school.
The university has 10 faculties, 11 research institutes, and 4 centers of excellence, and we offer diversified academic programs and specializations in natural sciences, applied sciences, technology, humanities, social sciences, and law.
Studying engineering at the University of Nairobi is a top-tier experience. This is due to the fact that we have the best lecturers in the industry, and we also get access to the practicing engineers, and these coupled with all the student activities that take part in the university, I think sets us apart as engineering professionals to be.
Our distinguished faculty members are experts in their respective fields, dedicated to both teaching and research. They engage students through dynamic and interactive learning experiences, encouraging them to explore, question, and discover new knowledge.
I think the University of Nairobi fits very well, perfectly to my future career goals. One, because I want to be an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and it will give me an opportunity to not just complete law here, but to gain skills that will enable me do well in the Kenya School of Law, become an advocate of the High Court of Kenya.
With state-of-the-art facilities and cutting-edge resources, we provide an environment conducive to research, innovation, and creative expression. Beyond academics, UON offers a vibrant campus life where students can participate in numerous extracurricular activities, clubs, and organizations. These opportunities foster personal growth, leadership development, and cultural enrichment.
Away from class, away from wards for me, and just come and rejuvenate myself. And I think that's really important, and I'm grateful to them for that.
Our diverse and inclusive community ensures that you'll not only receive a world-class education, but also form lifelong friendships and build a strong network for your future endeavors. As a leading research institution, UON is committed to generating knowledge that addresses pressing global challenges. Our research centers and institutes contribute to advancements in various fields, promoting interdisciplinary collaboration and innovation. Students have the opportunity to engage in groundbreaking research projects, working alongside esteemed faculty members and contributing to the creation of new knowledge.